Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing good today. So in today's video, I am going to be comparing different drugstore or affordable makeup that are very much similar in formulations and if they are a dupe of one another. So essentially in this video, I'm going to talk about products that look alike or that have the same kind of formulation and you don't have to buy the same product again and again. So I really searched my makeup collection and I found that a lot of these products are so similar to one another and all of these are quite affordable only. But yeah, I'm just going to tell you guys that these are so similar, which one to buy and which one to skip maybe. So without further ado, let's get started. Hopefully you liked the video, hopefully you found it helpful, hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you like the content and you want to see more of me, you can hit the subscribe button. I post mostly about affordable makeup, skincare, fashion and all of that on this channel. So let's get on with the video now. So the first thing I'm going to be comparing is the Maybelline Fit Me. This is a Dewy Plus Smooth Primer and I'm going to compare it with this Sugar Aquaholic Priming Moisturizer. So both of these are very similar, where they are like a moisturizer but you can use as a primer. Mainly a lot of dry skin people would love this. So you guys maybe have seen that I never have tried the Maybelline Fit Me one on my channel. That's because it has quite a lot of fragrance, I feel like, and that kind of lingers around a little bit, and that is why I don't use this that much. So I feel like both of the Sugar and the Maybelline one are so similar to one another. Even the formulation is so similar. The Sugar one, I would say, has a little bit more of the water consistency to it, like a watery moisturizer, and the Maybelline one is like a straight up normal lightweight moisturizing primer. But the effect that both these give on my skin is actually pretty similar. They both do the job of moisturizing, hydrating, and your makeup definitely looks more better on the skin, and that's about it. So I feel like I would definitely recommend the Sugar one more than the Maybelline one. So I would definitely suggest the Sugar one more than the Maybelline one because personally I like the Sugar one more better. I have been using it for quite some time and the Maybelline one is also very similar, but the thing is it has a little bit of that fragrance and I like the texture of the Sugar one much more better because it has that water kind of consistency. So I really like that on my skin. So for me, I would definitely pick the Sugar one rather than the Maybelline one. So the next product I have here that have almost the same kind of formulation is this e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation, and this is the Iba Foundation. This is the waterproof liquid foundation. So this is the foundation that I have on my skin. I have half my face and half my face with similar products, and as you can see, they look very same. So the e.l.f. Satin Finish Foundation, it's a very good foundation, medium to full coverage. It gives a very satin finish on the skin. It looks good and definitely it wears really nicely on the skin as well. The same goes with the Iba one. The Iba one is also amazing on the skin. I personally like the Iba one much more better because I feel like with any sort of primer, any sort of skin texture, I feel like the Iba one suits me a lot better than the e.l.f. one. Both of these I feel like has the same kind of formulation, same kind of finish, so you don't have to spend your money. If you have the e.l.f. one, you don't have to go ahead and get the Iba one. But if you do not have any of this, I would say definitely go for the Iba one because it is much more cheaper in price. And not only that, the Iba one actually kind of looks more better somehow, I mean the formulation is very similar, but on the skin, I feel like the Iba one looks a little bit more better, and also I would say that the Iba one looks so good with every primer I use. The e.l.f. one, if I have extremely dry skin and if I don't use a moisturizing primer, sometimes, only sometimes though, it can look a little bit dry, but with the Iba one, I have never experienced that one, like not even once. So definitely for me, personally, I would pick the Iba over the e.l.f. one. So now coming on to concealer, on this side I have applied the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer, and on this side I have applied the Mars concealer. Now I feel like the Photo Focus and the Mars concealer are so similar, you guys. Like if I don't know which concealer I'm applying, I wouldn't know that this is the Mars concealer or the e.l.f. concealer, because they are almost exactly similar in formulation, where they have that medium coverage, they look good on the skin. And yeah, if you have extremely dry under eyes, I don't think so you like either one of this. But for me, again, I'm telling you guys, they are both exactly similar. The Mars one is a little bit more cheaper, obviously, but the Mars one doesn't have a lot of shades. Even the e.l.f. one, I feel like, don't have a lot of shades now. So for me, if you ask me, definitely pick the Mars one because it's so inexpensive when you compare it to the e.l.f. one. The formulation, I would say, is like a liquid concealer, just like a normal liquid concealer, where it goes really well into the skin. It gives a medium coverage, it looks good, it wears well throughout the day, it doesn't crease a lot. So the same goes with the Mars one as well. Both are so similar, so if you have either one of these, don't spend your money on the other because they are exactly the same. So now coming on to eyeshadow, this is not quite exactly similar, but it has the same vibe to it, I would say. So I have the Sugar eyeshadow and it's in the shade 01 Flawless. So this is like a very peachy type of eyeshadow that has really warm undertones to it. And I have this Kiss Beauty eyeshadow here and it's in the shade, I really don't know the shade, I'll leave it in the description box. But as you can see, it has almost a very similar vibe to it. I have created this side of my eye look with the Sugar one and this side with the Kiss Beauty one. You can totally see they almost have no difference at all. Like, they look so similar, and I feel like, yes, some colors are exactly similar. For example, the orange one is similar to the orange peach shade that you have here. Some of the coral shades in here match with the coral shades in here. So I would just say that the Sugar one doesn't have a lot of mattes like the Kiss Beauty one, and the shimmers also somewhat doesn't resemble the same exactly, but they are of the same vibe, that's what I'm saying. So if you really are, if you really have the Sugar one, you don't have to spend your money on the Kiss Beauty one, and if you have the Kiss Beauty one, you don't have to spend your money on the Sugar one. That's all I'm saying. If you have either one of this, you don't have to go out and buy another one. For me personally, I would pick the Kiss Beauty one because the Kiss Beauty has much more mattes, and I am someone, I love working with mattes so much. So for me, I would definitely pick the Kiss Beauty one over the Sugar one. But I do have to say, I like the Sugar formula a little bit better, like maybe 2% better than the Kiss Beauty one. But yeah, the Sugar formula eyeshadow is really good. Even the Kiss Beauty is not bad, but I'm just saying that when you compare it with the Sugar one is like 2% a little better than the Kiss Beauty one. So now coming on to a contour or a cream bronzer, I have the Sugar. This is the cream bronzer and it's in the shade 01 Fawn First. So this, I feel like, is very similar to the Bae Stick foundation and it's in the shade 07. I have both of these on my as a bronzer today, as a cream bronzer, and you can see that they are very similar. Not only the shade is somewhat similar, it's not exactly right spot on similar, but the formulation is so similar. Like, it blends so well into the skin, it looks very natural. The Sugar one, the Bae one, looks so natural, and the Sugar one does cost a little bit high. Like, it's around 700, I think so, 700, 800, around that price range. The Bae one is literally so cheap. It's only rupees 100. So for me, definitely I would prefer the Bae one. I mean, you guys know I do try a lot of makeup because I have a beauty channel. But if I didn't have a beauty channel and if I was seeing this video, if I was seeing my own video, something similar, I would definitely pick out the Bae one because it's so much cheaper and I can obviously save my money, so I wouldn't get the Sugar one. But if you already have the Sugar one, you don't need to go ahead and get the Bae one, because even if it's only 100 rupees, you don't have to go ahead and spend that 100 also, because the formulation, everything is so similar. You do not need the Bae one. So yeah, if you have either one of this, you don't have to go ahead and get the other one. For me personally, if I had to choose, obviously I would choose the Bae one because it's almost similar, you guys. Like, I don't see a difference, and why would I go and spend my money on the Sugar one when I can go ahead and save my money while buying the Bae one. So now coming on to a contour shade. This is also from Sugar actually. So this is the Sugar contour and it's in the shade 03, like the whole palette. Obviously you get the contour shade alag se as well, but this one I would say is very similar to the Nykaa. This is the compact powder, and it's in the shade 08. I feel like both of these are so similar. Like, you can totally see that by yourself as well. The shade is a spot on dupe, and I have applied it on this side of my face, like on both sides I have applied each one of this, and you can totally see that they almost look very similar. Like, they spot on look similar, and the formulation is also very similar. I would say the sugar one is a tad bit more pigmented, so for a beginner you better go for the Nykaa one, because the Nykaa one is much more you know, blendable, and it really blends well, and it doesn't have that much of pigment. So when you go in with your brush, you don't get a ton of pigment, and you don't have to worry about it blending into your skin really well. So for me, I would definitely prefer the Nykaa one, because first of all, it's inexpensive, and the second is that this is so less pigmented that I don't have to worry about it looking like a stripe of gray thing on my cheeks. So that is why I would definitely prefer the Nykaa one much more than the sugar one. Yeah, so these two are very similar. So now coming on to blush, I have both these blushes. Now this is the Just Herbs blush, and it is in the shade, I think it was in the shade Soft Nude. Yeah, so it's in the shade Soft Nude. And I have the blush I have here is this Honor blush, and it's in the shade Mocha something. I really don't know the shade. Mocha Nude. So both of these are obviously nude category, and I love both these blushes. But if you have one of this, you don't need the other one, because they are exactly similar, you guys. Like, maybe the Soft Nude is a tad bit, like a little bit darker, but on the skin you can totally see that they don't look dark at all. They almost look so similar. So you don't have to go ahead and get both the blush. You can get either one of this. I would say the formulation of the Just Herbs one is a little bit more, I would say, a little bit more on the soft matte side, I would say. And the Honor one is a little bit more dewy. It definitely depends on what kind of base you're applying. If you have a very dewy base, the Honor one tends to look a little bit more dewy. But compared it with the Just Herbs one, the Honor might look a little bit dewy, not that much. Honestly, you can just see right now, also you cannot see a difference, that I have two different blush on my cheeks. You cannot tell the difference, you know. So that's what I mean. Like, you can just go ahead and save your money and get the Honor one, because I think it's a little bit less than the Just Herbs one. The Just Herbs one retails for 700, the Honor one retails for 500, I think so, or 400. So definitely the Honor one is much more better for me. So the next product I have here are these lipsticks. This is the lipstick that I have on. On one side, I have the Insight lipstick in the shade Deja Vu. And on one side, I have the Mars Butter lipstick, and it's in the shade Confident Woman. Both of these shades are so similar. And not only the shades, the formulation of these are similar as well. Like, they are exactly similar, you know. So the Mars one is when you apply it, it kind of goes on a little bit more creamy than the shade than the lipstick from the Insight one. The Insight one, initially when you apply this, it's like a little bit matte. So if you are someone who don't like a really matte lipstick, it can be a little bit drying, the Insight one. So if you don't like that, don't go for the Insight one, go for the Mars one instead. If you ask me to choose, I would definitely choose the Mars one, because while I'm applying it, I love that creamy feeling, but once it sets down, it doesn't budge. It feels like a matte lipstick, but not too drying. The Insight also doesn't feel drying, I would say, but when you initially apply this, it doesn't have that creamy touch to it. And even you can see that on my lips, the Mars side actually looks a little bit more soft, and the Insight side looks a little bit more dry. You cannot obviously see a difference, I would say, not that much. So if you ask me, for me, I would go for the Mars one, and the Insight one is also good, but I would prefer the Mars one a little bit more, you know. So that was it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope this video made sense. I just wanted to portray that if you have any one of this product, you don't have to go and spend your money on the other one. It doesn't matter if it's the affordable one or if it's the, you know, a little bit on the pricey one. You don't have to go ahead and buy the same formulated or same shades of product again and again. So stop wasting your money. And these are very similar. So if you want to get either one of this, you can go ahead and get it. So yeah, that was it for today's video. I hope this video made sense. I hope you like it. You can hit the subscribe button if you want to. It helps me out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.